Welcome back to my Dark Souls full play. Let's just jump right into it. And here we are, waking up right next to our buddy, gazing up at the sun, which isn't advised, but in video games it's okay. I'm down to 3 healing items. This is the door I came through, but if I try to go through here, it's locked. My only option is to go run across the bridge. Now, I knew that was going to happen, because I've played this game a dozen times. And what was hard to actually see in the game was that this dragon came by and set everything on fire. I'll try to get him to do it again. Come on. Ouch. Ouch. This guy is shooting me. This up. I almost never open this early. I usually go through a bunch of other stuff before I get here. And praise the sun. Is this where I go to do it? I don't remember. I feel like this is the altar where it happens, but I don't think I can do it yet. Yeah, there's like nothing over here. Cool, 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 cool. I'm gonna run out here real quick. If you're worried about where that dragon ended up, don't be. He is nearby, and that's fine. I am gonna change my weapon though. Oh, I guess I can't yet. Yeah, I gotta level into strength a little bit, which is perfect. So that's exactly what I that's exactly what I had. Cool. I could reverse my hollowing, but I'm gonna leave it. When you're human, other players have the ability to invade your game, and it kind of sucks because they invade your game and then their mission is to kill you, which is kind of lame if I do say so myself. I killed that guy, but there's some enemies that way, but I want to unlock this other path real quick just because it's a good path to have unlocked. There we go. Gotta watch out for these guys because they will poison you. And as of right now, I don't. Yep. As of right now, I don't have any healing items to get rid of poison, which isn't great. So I'm just constantly losing health. Luckily I did rest at that other bonfire to get my healing items back. Remember when I told you I got pretty good at backstabbing? That's just more proof. Now if I come up this side, this is the same area where I was. If I walk on that bridge, I'm pretty sure the dragon will come back, so I'm not gonna do that. But I did want to unlock this shortcut. Just because it's a good shortcut to have access to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rest here to get rid of the poisoning. Now you'll notice when I sit down at the bonfire, it gives this like fog cloud. They do that to disguise the fact that they're spawning in all the enemy models every time you do that. And in the old game, before they remastered it, that fog wall was actually a little more transparent. So sometimes if you were in a good spot, you could see the enemies just kind of teleporting back to where they belong. Because their bodies don't disappear either. Yeah, every time they would die in the game, their bodies stay put. And then when they respawn, they would have to put them back. So what you just saw there was sometimes these rats can have humanity items. It's a pretty rare chance, but it does mean that humanity is technically farmable in this game. And also technically infinite, because you can keep just killing over and over again to get it to... I just want to respawn here, that's why I slept there. You can just technically farm it infinitely, which is useful for our purposes because I have need of a lot of humanity later in this game. Cool, so I want to get enemies' attention without attracting the attention of that pig first. So he's a little bit of a harder enemy. In case you couldn't tell by his size. Size is a pretty good determination of difficulty in this game. Pretty good. There's some other entities that kind of break that rule. Yeah, keep on them backwards. Get rid of those guys first. See, he'll run at you. And this early, he does a lot of damage. I'm gonna leave you be. Luckily, the backstab animation gives you invincibility frames also. So if you run into an enemy that is about your size, if you can backstab, it will protect you just for a second. Ouch. Cool, so now this pig hates me. Now I do remember there being like a backstab animation for this. I do remember there being like some kind of sweet spot right near his butt that you can hit. That'll make this a lot easier to kill, but I can't seem to get it to work, so I guess we're just gonna chip away at his armor. Pretty agile for a large creature, but it's also pretty slow. There it is. Guess I found the sweet spot again. I remember when I said dodge rolling is really important. This is partly why. Those invincibility frames will armor through everything. Hoping once I've killed this, there we go. Give me the item. Yes! This is a blessed save. This helmet is a really rare drop chance, but it also only drops from the pigs, and there's only about 3 of them in the entire game. So you can see why I'm very excited. This guy, this is part of the game where it's like you gotta pay attention if you're new, because it's really easy to get caught in these traps. Like that guy would turn and run and lead me into a bunch of enemies that you can't see, which just makes it hard. Which is part of the reason why this game gets a reputation for being unfair. Nope. Just because it has a lot of little traps like that. But, you know, once you've died to them once, generally you don't get tricked by them again. Unless you forget, which, you know, could happen. I am pretty low on health, though. Like health and healing items, I mean. I may just want to go back to the bonfire. But yeah, once you've, you know, been through the trap once, died, and then, you know, realized it's a trap, you're not going to get tricked by it again. And then you just go collect your stuff and come back to it. There's also a lot of stuff like that where you gotta walk on geometry that you don't necessarily think you should walk on. A lot of narrow passages and things like that. There's also a lot of false, I don't want to say false dangers because that's not entirely accurate, but there is a lot of false fog walls that you think lead to bosses and just don't. Okay, this is not a fight I should have picked. But that's fine. If I die here, I just come back, get my stuff, and go back to it. I am gonna back up over here so I can get this item though. Oh, is that my first death? I think so. It's a shame. Sometimes you just overestimate how much healing you have. I'm used to having more by this point, because I usually have kindled a bonfire or 2 by now. But I'm not too far away, and I can just collect my souls. I am gonna... yeah, I'm gonna want to kindle this. Where's my items? Oh, I did have a homeward bound. So you offer a humanity to become human, and then you offer the humanity to kindle the fire. And you'll watch my Estus Flask in the corner. Now it's 10 uses, and that's a permanent upgrade to this fire. Now I can go. I am at risk of being invaded, which kind of sucks. It's just kind of the risk I have to take. But the good news is that this pig has, it doesn't come back. Which is, again, why it makes this helmet so rare. My favorite helmet in the game. Because also, like, it's just aesthetic as heck. Like, you can't deny that. You really gotta watch your stamina in this game. Which is why leveling endurance is so important. Ouch. Just gonna die to this pikeman after. Screw this guy. Another thing to watch out for is when your shield's up, your stamina regen's a lot slower. But one of the nice things of having a giant sword is you can just kind of armor through, or just kind of beat your way through enemy shielding. And just nothing can really stop you. Not nothing, but love that. But yeah, you see this is the trap I was supposed to fall for earlier. You're supposed to just chase him and then you get surrounded. Oops. The other nice thing about having a giant sword is that it will go through multiple enemies on swings and stabs. It will oftentimes kill like these weaker enemies. It'll just do both of them. My camera had locked onto the guy down there that I didn't kill. Which I think is one of the hardest parts about this game, is that the camera is not always and almost never is your friend. No backstab. So yeah, as long as you make it back to where you died and collect your dead body, you don't lose any of your stuff. And now I'm in an even better place than I was. So I have more healing items and even more souls. I think once I unlock the gate, though, I am gonna go back to the bonfire. Sometimes you go for the backstab and it just doesn't quite work out. You can see like the courtyard area. We've seen this before on the other side of the gate. Yeah, come on. Whoops. Some of the enemies can be smart, like not showing their back, staying up against walls and stuff. Do you see what I mean when I say the camera isn't always your friend? Sometimes it gets stuck on some of the narrow geometry. That can be really inconvenient. Okay, yeah. This is another trap that I've sort of circumvented with my... I'm not entirely sure how I circumvented that, actually. The enemy that was supposed to be on the other side of that. So how this is meant to work is an enemy stands here. That was the soldier with the pike that I killed. And then this guy is on the other end of the hallway, so you go and you turn. And most people are right-handed, so they turn to the right first. There's a guy there, so you step out to kill him, and then as you're killing him, this guy, who is much stronger and faster, runs over and stabs you while you're not paying attention. Most players would die there, and then have to go back to the bonfire again. This is another instance where they did design this to trap you, where you know, you come out down in this area, you know, you come out from here and you come in and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know where this is, and then you walk by this front door, which, regardless of how far away from this little opening you are, it activates this guy who's one of the 3 guys in there, and he runs out as you are like, okay, yeah, those guys probably don't see me. He's in like a little corner to start with, and then you are like, oh yeah, cool, they don't see me yet, I can take my time and not fight them yet, and see what's over here, because you've seen this, you know that it connects to this portcullis, and you're like, okay, yeah, I want to open up this area, so you come over here, you kill that guy, and then that much bigger and faster enemy comes by to wreck your whole shop. So it's things like this that make new players really frustrated. I know when I started, it was one of the most annoying things to me, was all these little traps that would pile up, and I have a hard time with memory recall of things that are new to me. So let's do so I would forget that the traps were there, and then I would die over and over and over again to those same traps. It would get really frustrating. But ultimately you just get like a muscle memory. Sorry about the airplane noise. I live in a area next to an airport and it gets pretty loud. Always pillage bodies. You never know what it's gonna be until you pick it up. There's no visual difference between items in the start. And now that I've unlocked this path, instead of going all the way around and bothering with those archers, I can just kill the foot soldier and head on back through. Oh, I thought he had an item on him. And they can't shoot me past a certain height, so... Yeah, see? If you walk on this part of the stairwell at all, it will trigger this guy. These guys also like to attack a certain way, which makes them a lot easier to predict. They have a pretty big wind-up. Which is harder to take advantage of in close quarters like this, but not impossible. Also, projectiles in this game move slowly. Not you know, super slow, but they move slower than they would in real life. Makes it easier to dodge them. Here's where things start to get a little less linear, in the sense that we can go multiple directions. Like over here, you know, this is kind of the first sort of branching path area that you can find. And you come up here and you see this gate's locked, but there's an NPC.
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina. Quite honestly, I've run flat up against a wall, or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak. Still closed. Still closed.
So that's Siegmeyer, one of the NPCs in this game. He is very popular also with fans. Mostly because of his armor, it makes him look like an onion. So people call him the Onion Knight, which is pretty funny. But yeah, he's just a really chill dude. He's off on his own little quest in this game, which is part of why I like it. You know, everybody's got their own tasks going on. It doesn't really have anything to do with you. You're just kind of an outside observer, and I think that's pretty cool.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre of Astora. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
This is another in-game merchant. One of the nice things that I think you can do is you can just talk to them, and they'll tell you about stuff going on. Let's do a repair real quick. Doesn't cost a lot, but it really sucks when you are in the middle of something. Cool. Make the claymore stronger. Cool.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
So Andre's another popular character in that, like, he also is just like a decent man. And he'll upgrade your weapons and armor for you. And in this area, we're hearing a constant tolling of a bell. And that's because this is where the Bell of Awakening is. And every time another player rings the Bell of Awakening, we can hear it in our game. Which I think is a neat little feature. It does require you to be connected at all times, so you can't really play this game offline. But they fixed that in later games. And I just think it's, you know, for a game that's not technically multiplayer, I think it's a nice little feature. No, you don't. Ah, man. Ouch. I didn't have any stamina left to to roll. Oof. I haven't leveled quite as much as I usually do. I do want to at least make it to the next boss before I end, though. I remember being able to backstab him, but the game doesn't seem to want to let me. There we go. And gave me an upgrade item. I am gonna fight at least one more of these dudes. Not right there, though. Ouch. There we go. So there's a bad guy up there, which I can't fight yet. But if I go around this stuff, oops. Then he can't hit me. So the game gives me a little bit of cover. Oh, and I definitely want to grab this before I go down. Ouch. a lot of this game is just unlocking shortcuts. Or different paths around. So you see I'm back in Firelink Shrine. I could go that way, but I'm not going to. Not yet, anyway. Same hat, my dude. Same shield.
I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you. Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you? Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods. Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
I always like to learn the gestures. They're just fun to have. Cool, yeah. It's pretty beneficial to learn miracles, just not this early, at least not for me.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
Especially not when I'm speccing mostly into... Oh, I am fat rolling. Hang on. We are not dealing with that. It's a little better. Fat rolling, this game has a sort of encumbrance system based on the equipment that you're wearing. And, it, really affects how you're, it really affects your ability to dodge. So if I equip the Night Shield, which is what I had on earlier, if I equip that, I move a lot slower just in like walking animation, and then I also take forever to dodge roll, which stinks because that's what you use to, you know, get away from your enemies and, you know, armor through their attacks, and that slows down how many animation frames or how many invincibility frames you have. It makes it a lot harder to fight bosses and even just like move around normal enemies. But there we go. With the wooden shield, I move fairly normally. Obviously the fastest would be if I took off all my armor and just had one weapon. And there are people that do that, who just have like a shield and a weapon and no armor, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. Not like, you know, send it to the madhouse, but just like, I don't even understand the type of person that can play this game without armor. Although I guess, you know, there are people out there who won't understand the kind of person who just can play this game at all. There's different levels to everything. So he's called a channeler, I believe. and he sucks because he will buff enemies, and then he also has his own attacks. So this entire horde of like low-level enemies is now that more dangerous. That much more dangerous, I mean. Luckily, they're all getting stuck on their own hitboxes. And that choke point makes it easier to actually, you know, defeat them.
Still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse. Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Carim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later. Yes, very sorry. Your reward will have to wait. I've just been freed. Allow me some time. I am free. Now, I can get back to work.
Cool. So I've made it to the, this is the third boss. However, even though I've made it all the way up here, it's getting pretty, this video's getting pretty long, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. Yeah. Join me next time.